Right. So now, before we officially move into chapter one, let's take a moment to talk about the book cover. Does anyone recognize this picture, this painting? It's very interesting to talk about this painting. Um, this is by Peter Bruegel. Um, yeah, the artist in the 16th century, I guess. And the title is Landscape with the Fall of Icarus. And this painting depicts the story of Icarus from Greek mythology. I'm sorry, mythology. So in Greek mythology, Icarus and his story about flying in the sky. And I don't have time to talk about this story in detail, but um, yeah, uh, let me talk about a little. Daedalus, an Athenian known for his extraordinary skill and ingenuity, was a master inventor, and Icarus is his son. At the request of King Minos of Crete, or in Greek Crete, he designed a labyrinth to imprison the Minotaur, a monstrous creature, a monster that was half man and half bull. Mm, Later on, King Minos imprisoned both Daedalus and his son Icarus inside the very labyrinth he had created. Uh, Determined to escape, Daedalus devised a daring plan. He gathered the feathers of birds and fastened them together with beeswax. Do you know what that means? Beeswax is the material produced by bees to build their honeycombs. It took um, the Daedalus and his son tried to escape the using craft wings like this. So um, before taking flight, Daedalus warned his son not to fly too close to the sun. Yeah, in order to avoid um like the the wax melted in the sun's heat. But Icarus, carried away by the thrill of flying, so he soared too high. Then the wax melted in the sun's heat. His wings fell apart, and Icarus fell into the sun, into the sea. Sorry, into the sea. He fell into the sea. And this picture describes that scene. Can you see this? Two legs, right? This is Icarus or Icarus. So, as the title says, this is um the the landscape, the landscape with the fall of Icarus. And the interesting point is this. Um, can you check the persons here in this painting? We can recognize three people here, right? The first one is the farmer. He is plowing with the plow, and does not pay attention to Icarus, right? Like, yeah, this is the moment Icarus fell from the sky into the sea. And the second person is here, right here. He's the shepherd, right? And he's just looking into the sky. What does his look? What does he looking at? Yeah, we can assume that maybe the Daedalus, the Icarus' father, uh, was flying still there, right? Somewhere, yeah, in the sky. And the third person is right here, the right at the bottom of the painting. Maybe he is fishing, right? He is a fisherman by the shore. But what is striking is that none of them pay attention to Icarus, right? Yeah. None of them is turning his head into the a place. Maybe they might heard sound of splashing, right? Splash. But in the moment when Icarus, with wings strapped to his back, fell from the sky into the sea, we can imagine that he must have screamed, or even if he didn't, the sound of his body hitting the wall, a loud splash, would surely have been heard. And yet, the shepherd, rather than paying attention to Icarus, keeps his gaze fixed upward, perhaps still looking at Daedalus who remains in the sky. But yeah, can you guess why the designer or the publisher chose this painting as the cover of this series of the book? Let me show you one more time. Yeah, this one. Can you guess what's the reason for using this painting for the cover? Yeah, interpretations may vary, but from my perspective, what the painter intended to show is this. For these people, whether someone is flying in the sky or falling from from it, it's none of their concern. None of their concern. They are simply observing their everyday labor, everyday work, focused on their own small share of life. For these people, what matters was not the unusual event or the rare spectacle that happened that day, but rather the structure of everyday life, the ongoing repetitive labor they had to perform simply to survive. Farming or shepherding and fishing. Yeah, they work, everyday work. Perhaps that is precisely why this painting was chosen for the cover of this book. Not because of Icarus' dramatic fall, but because of the quiet persistence of ordinary life that continues in the face of supposedly great events. Yeah. All right. Then let's look into the first chapter. I'm sorry. I'm using the Korean English at the same time, but is this Korean slides just for the previous like the morning sessions for Korean lecture. So just be generous about the slides. Yeah, chapter one is the chapter one is crucial in that mm, uh, the author suggests a good starting point that is population as the key indicator of mature life. The most important indicator of human mature life, like according to Brodel, is population. The significance or weight of numerical data, numbers. Its logical premise is like this: even imperfect numerical data reflects real change. The figures proposed by socioeconomic scholars are not exact numbers according to uh, Brodel. They are merely estimates extended and projected from limited data in specific times and places. Not exact numbers, but like broad um, guessing numbers. But it's good, better than without them. Yeah, these estimates are still whole value. They are better than having the data at all, and they allow for a certain level of generalization. Let's see the the pictures. Um, and the population of a certain society is crucial to um, understand the whole process of life. Like increasing population is a good point. Increase in population results in increase in production and exchange, right? More farmland and more artisanal work to exchange something, to sell and to buy something, which leads to growth of villages and towns. Yeah, the more they have more products, yeah, they could sell certain extra products with the some other products, which is called exchange, right? And after some of the process, they embedded the money, yeah, in metal first, then paper money. Yeah, yeah, um, they have to exchange something in a simple way. Anyway, the increase in production and exchange leads to growth of village and towns, and then it triggers migration and population movement. And there is not this is not the end of the story. Just a minute. Yeah. Like you and I, we all knows that the migration in from rural area into city area is a current one, not the ancient one. We still we are experiencing like migration and moving people from place to place. Yeah, that's the like because of the increase in number, increase in population, increase in exchange, and um, increase in or the development of the city or the town. But this is not the end of story. Yeah, as I told you, um, maybe sometimes increase in population or means that the increase of power and increase of the like bad things. Yeah, uh, when people gather together, yeah, yeah, the number of people means meaning the number of the amount of power and the amount of the um like bad effects. Yeah, I think it's all side effects of the increase of population, war, a conflict, plunder, yeah, armed groups. All these things are like the meaning of the emergence of privileged classes. Yeah, there will be a like class conflicts and like the fighting against each other to get more things, to get better things. Um, Research in culminating in the flourishing of states and civilization. Yeah, so the word civilization has the positive meaning and as well as the negative meaning. So yeah, that is to say that the increase of population has positive effects and the side effects. Yeah. And the picture shows the side effects of the increase of population. And and then what about the decrease in population? When, according to Brodel, when the number of people or the population reaches into in the limits of the possible things, then yeah, like it's like the opposite direction of the increase in the number of people, right? Like the other way around. When the population reaches in the limit of the possible, it brings the matter of food shortages, right? And sometimes actually many times famine or disease happens and it brings the population decline clearly. However, this has a bright side either, right? The like increase of population has side effects, and the decrease of population has a bright side. For the shortage of the human power and labors, and the decline of the population, and then the laborers or the working people, yeah, they could get more. Yeah, they could get paid um better than um like the earlier stage. So we can say that their real wages or income could rise, right? The number of the workers, the working people, yeah, it's hard to get the workers. So the the people who wants workers, they could pay more. Yeah, yeah. So so it is natural to see the decrease and increase of the number and the population has the both the positive and negative sides. Um, it is crucial to say that this like increase and decrease in population, it has a global phenomenon, the global synchronic tendency, or the like using broader term, the shared rhythm of the human life. So these long-term population fluctuations were not unique to Europe. Similar patterns appeared in Asia, particularly in China, Beijing, and India, and around the same period. So Brodel refers to this as a primordial cosmic destiny. suggesting that different parts of the world experienced same expansion and contraction in a shared global rhythm or the like global pattern. So they experience the same up and downs about the the socio economic increase and decrease and which was according to the number of people, the population. Um, yeah. Now Brodel talks about the reliability of statistics, the question of the absence of the reliable data, the numbers. So for the 15th to 18th centuries, and there's no precise or global consensus exists. Yeah. They have limited data, and some of the scholars could raise questions about the trustworthiness or the reliability of the data itself. Records are fragmentary and mostly limited to Europe and China. And in China, the Ming and Qing fiscal surveys underestimated population due to tax evasion and weak administration. Thus, fluctuations often reflected the bureaucratic strength rather than real demographic change. It's like it's interesting to um think of this fact, right? So the shortage of the amount of data. So so it is understandable, right? This guy have questions and suspicious of the data, but the other guy, the scientist, he's saying is like better a little than none at all. Yeah, it's exactly shows the point of the Brodel, the author's point of view. And like guessing the whole population um using a small town is that reliable, or like guessing the population of a whole nation using just a small village? Is it reasonable? Yeah. Yeah, most of you are like will have questions and like doubts about the data, but our brother says that it is better than having nothing at all. So if we have some the number of the others, male others, we could assume the whole population of the village, and 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 there's some other ways to guessing the whole population of the country. Uh, in- Yeah, it's just assuming, but uh, like um, better than nothing. So using that kind of data, yeah, the scholars assumes uh, try to guess the world population from the 13th to the 19th century is like this. Yeah. The one of the main points is like this: a long-standing balance, Europe and China. So Europe and China maintain the comparable population sizes for centuries. One of the most stable equilibriums in world history. And by the 19th century, each accounted for roughly one quarter of the world's inhabitants, a ratio likely valid since the 16th and 17th centuries. Yeah, the like uh, this this line, continuous line, 4 and 5 times the population of China, and makes the whole the world population like this. And the dotted line is just 4 and 5 times population of Europe. Yes, the result, it could be varied, but like the showing the similar pattern tendencies, which is the between before the 15th century, it is similar, and there's a rise to lines, but in the 16th 17th century, uh it began to rise. What about the 19th century? Yeah, that increase is dramatic, right? This same pattern, using China's the data in China, or the using the data in Europe, yeah, showing the same or similar patterns for the population, world population. So, and mathematically, it it's not, it could not be like trustworthy, but like for the historical phenomena, or the like the just seeing the characteristic of the like the pattern or the tendency of something, some phenomenon, we could, oh yeah, this is kind of the reasonable, and like not illogical. Yeah, so it could be understandable. So global estimates, like between the like around 14th century, the world population is 250 to 350 million. But 18th century, world population is 800 million to 1 billion, roughly doubling or tripling in 5 centuries. Despite the catastrophic losses, the long-term tend to tend the long-term trend was upward. Like um the Black Death in the 15th century, the actually the real population of especially Europe dropped down dramatically. But after that, yeah, not long after that, the population recovered. So in 19th century, its population is like this, and do you guys know how many people live on Earth? The world population in like in broadest era and hours. Just sorry. Yeah, and this book was written in 1970s or 1979, and its English translation is 19 yeah 80. I forgot. Just let me check the year of the, yeah. Um, this book is published in 1981, and its original, the French edition is uh, was published in 1979. Uh, in that era, around 1980s, the world population is 40 billion. Oh, I'm sorry, 4 billion. And what about today's? Today's population is, yeah, 8 billion, more than 8 billion. So yeah, the great increase in number is when we extend the this graph into right direction. Yeah, the number of the people is as much as higher than like this, and we need more space to show the like, yeah, 8 billion. And then us then we could ask questions. What about what's the reasons for this dramatic increase? And people say that like hygienes or the like medical development, the medical technology, and the decrease of the like pandemics, or the lower age of the marriage, or infant death rate, and some kind of things. But Brodel suggests one of the main reason for this dramatic increase in population is climate. Yeah, and we could see the like the like moving upward and downward, and we can say the like this one. In a medieval period, there's a warm climate, and but in the like 18th century, and there's a period which is called the Little Ice Age. So the for the early modern era, yeah, there's some kind of the decrease of in population and the pandemics. But after that, the dramatic increase in number of people is like just like this, and we can say the same one with this graph. It shows the global average temperature change. As you see, like in the 19th century, yeah, the global average temperature is going out like this, and a dramatic um increase, right? The it's the same one with the like this one, right? Then we could say that like the dramatic increase in population and the increase of the average temperature is the same, showing the same pattern, right? So just so in the late in the late of the 10th century invasions, I'm sorry, okay, yeah, just move to the next. Okay. Let me finish this part by saying that the Brodell's comments about this one. The global average temperature shows uh, that the real ice age was not a distinct planet-wide period, but a regional phenomenon occurring near the end of a long temperature decline that preceded recent global warming. Surely, since the 19th century, it's abnormal, increasing dramatically. But Broder says, if, as I'm inclined to think, the climatic explanation has some truth in it, we must take care of not to oversimplify. Yeah, we could simplify this saying stating that the main reason of um, the population changing is climate change. That sounds like simplified version of the answer, but we should um, be the like watch out. The climate is just a very complex system, according to Brodel, and its effect on the lives of planets, animals, and people only comes about through via a very diverse routes, and that vary according to place, crop, and season. So people is not uh, yeah, as you know, some of people who live in the cold regions, uh, yet they don't have any effects of like of, of being cold or something like that. And for broader, it would be like helpful to think of this phenomenon using the data like this, but do not do not oversimplify. Okay. All right. This is the end of the second session, and I'll be back soon, and we talk about the uh other parts.